Welcome back, Kingsman, to another Napoleonic Total War 3 battle. Today we have the historical Battle of Albuera on NE, Napoleon's Eagles, which is another mod for Napoleon Total War. And yeah, this battle should be a fun one. A little background on it: it was kind of an attempt by Soult to ease up the pressure that was put on Messina during the Peninsular Wars. Obviously ended up not being too well communicated because Messina actually was already withdrawing. But it was a vicious fight that was near the end, and it was like the downfall of the whole Peninsular Campaign, where the French obviously failed to really capitalize on it. And I think in the end it was actually bad. It was a really bad, poorly planned invasion. But today we are going to see if they can recreate history, as you can see on the map here. I'll also put it up on the screen. We're going to have allies, Cole and Alton, at 77 and 70. And for those of you who do not know, this mod is historical only. And there's rules about who can move when to kind of, you know, show off the historical timeline, you know, when troops were advancing, when not. Obviously, the French are going to be the first ones to advance. We're not going to see a lot from them, but you can already see we have light infantry and line infantry pushing up here down this road. Looks like they're going to be going straight for the coalition position. This is probably why the Spanish fell back some of their troops. Of course, let's go back to the reinforcements here. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can figure out who's moving when. So I think the French can move everything. There we go, though. Myers, I don't think these guys can move. Sorry, Cole. This is Cole. Cole can't move until 70. And Alton over here can't move till 70. Or sorry, Cole. Oh gosh, I can't. The first line. So okay, I'm so confused here for a second. This first line here. This first full line can't move until 70, so they have 6 more minutes, of course, unless they're getting attacked. In which case, I think these guys are allowed to move. Philippon, I think for the French, can't move, and that's the only one that can't move. Everything else, I think, is allowed to move, and you can already see that, you know, the French are really pushing down this road, this bridge. They have this huge flank. The coalition have reinforcements over here. I think these are also part of Cole, so these guys cannot move. That's it. So this reserve line, and of course this reserve's way in the back here, cannot move. The first line, I think the first coalition line as well, these guys can't move. Allies first line at 77. Assuming that's what that means. But looks like they are now mobilizing up here. They're planning on maybe trying to hold this river. They're obviously going to have a huge flank to deal with. And oh, this cav is so close here on both sides. Dragoons. 2 Dragoons versus a lot of Spanish cav. We have some heavies. And some more just Dragoons. And some Hussars, I do believe, as well. For Spain. More French cav shifting over here. Some Lancers. Artillery already opening up on this field. We do have artillery that is going to be setting up. They are going to have to really reform their lines here. I don't know if Spain is going to try to hold this line or this hill, as you know, it gives them a good you know, range around. But of course, if the French are right here, then that is not going to look very good for them. But France has their work cut out for them, guys. They're on the downslope for this battle. I mean, in every way, this is a huge disadvantage on their part. The UK are trying to form up. They're throwing in their Spanish forces, as well as some UK line infantry. And they are going to try to hold this river. As we see, what looks like some 4th Infantry Grenadiers, as well as some line infantry. Just starting to roll down the road. Like I said, some artillery already firing for the French. Far left side, we are seeing Cav now pressuring. So the French probably going to get hit on both sides here. as there is, you know, a lot of flanking they have to do. There's Chasseurs Cheval and more Dragoons. France definitely, unlike the last any replay I did, France seems to have a good cav force, which is good for them. They were very lost without the cav. Alright, so yeah, you can see here France getting ready on this side of the river. The UK throwing down troops here. They have Stewart forming up by the town. And he has troops ranging on the hill. Now, of course, at the same time, there is a French incursion, as you will, pushing up on their right flank. So France gonna push a left flank here. Spain has a lot of troops, but interestingly enough, they seem to not want to take this fight. They're gonna fall back across this river, but that still leaves a bit of a gap in a flank for France to push. And France could really just have a small line here and then collapse in here and try to pressure so their troops can get across the river, because this is going to be the tough part for France, is trying to get their troops across the river and be able to engage, because right now it's a bit of a choke point for them. And not a very easy one. Not at all. And the coalition are definitely ready. Three more UK troops along with a 9-pounder. These guys can't leave. These guys aren't able to march yet, although these guys are, I think, because the rule is at, what, 77? The first line. They're going to leave one here and the other one's moving. Although Cole can't move and Austin can't move till 70, so I think, I'm not sure. Maybe they got a mix-up as to what they can and can't move. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, this fight's going to be looking like maybe for the flanks here on both sides. Now, the French are going to have a problem, as the UK are definitely going to be the worst pain in their side when it comes to that regular volley fire. It does look like the coalition are going to be able to get their artillery set up, a 6-pounder up on this hill. The vantage point they have, guys, is going to be a huge saver for them, I guess you could say. Now, you do see the French marching across the river here. They have a place that is covered. They have French troops pushing up right here at Cav, so, you know, they can push across. They don't even actually have to push this bridge and this hill. They can push around on a flank, which is going to actually force the French, or not the French, but the coalition to form up more troops. Like I said, they maybe should have held this hill. Maybe they didn't have enough troops, but France is getting across here. They have hussars already. France making a huge flank. They have quite a lot of line infantry here. Artillery is firing here, not getting lost. You hear the first shots. Oh, these guys unfortunately are going to get shot in the flank as they're trying to take out some of these hussars. I'm surprised they're not shifting troops and forming up a line here and a line here. They obviously need to form up here as well to protect their flank, because France is going to just pincer the side. And they probably should have a lot more reserves maybe in this area, because that's going to be a hard point to defend if they don't have the forces. They need to either try to make a decisive push now while France is caught in the river, or, you know, don't push at all. We have the UK actually pushing across this river here, so they're actually going for pressure here. That's a risky move because you don't know what's on this side of the river, and France could be waiting for you. We do have what looks like maybe some skirmishers. Yes, some skirmishers pushing up line infantry in the forest. We have horse artillery as well. The coalition, they are pushing their Portuguese line infantry up to stave off the French assault. Nothing really happening in the center still, so the coalition is getting stretched extremely thin, as you can see. France may be paying attention elsewhere and not noticing that they're actually getting flanked. Over here, it looks like the French are making their first actual assault getting their light infantry companies up. They have some skirmishers as well. I mean, Spain is holding and doing a good job of it. For now, they have a river, kind of as a natural barrier to protect them. They have more troops that can push up, and they have some reserves. But this is going to be it when it comes to their lines. If France brings up a lot more troops and overwhelms them, there's nothing they can do. Now this fight seems to be starting to catch on in several places. France pushing up for the assault. It looks like maybe they need to adjust their lines to make them longer to utilize that firepower they have, because right now it's the Spanish have very long lines and not all the French are firing. Hopefully these guys will march up and start firing some Chaudières and then just some line infantry. They can push up and start really pressuring the side. This is the side that they really should be attacking. And at the same time, I would start pushing across the river. But you got to watch out for this cheeky flank by the UK. The 57th. 57th, the line infantry, and the 48th are just going full on attack mode here on that flank. Some artillery has set up in a beautiful, this is a beautiful angle. They have some infantry to defend their artillery. They have those reserves ready to march forward if France, I guess, tries going across the river, so maybe it's good that they're not, France is not attacking there. My prediction, Spain actually could start losing out here if they are not careful. I'm surprised France hasn't pressured a little more here. Now there is some cav, maybe some cav action here, some light dragoons. France may not be actually prepared for this. I don't think France is prepared at all. These guys are not in a box formation, but they'll form a square. Oh no, you better charge now before they volley. Oh, please tell me you're gonna... Oh no! Falling back or charge in immediately. Yikes. And see, France prepared. Okay, so this is a useless cav charge. And with the French cav massing up, although there's a ton of cavalry now, all focused in this one area. I mean, look at the amount of cav. Now, the Spanish should be careful they're not going to team kill their own allied cav. But, man, the UK definitely did not handle that charge too well in the very beginning here. But it did give the Spanish an opportunity to get up a little closer, maybe put some pressure on the French line here. Look how beautiful this is. Oh, do we have some, hold on, we may have some action happening over here. Yep, the French are on the defensive and definitely getting outgunned here. They have a UK square bowl ready as there's some calves sitting back here, some hussars as well as some artillery setting up. The French heavily outflanked and they're pressuring this side. At the same time, France is going full on attack here. Look at the masses of infantry just pushing forward as well as cavalry. So both sides are attacking Spain. I mean, they have a little bit of a hill advantage, I guess you'd say. Although they're kind of hiding behind the crest of the hill. So they don't have a crazy good advantage. They need to push up their reserves because this line is... Oh, they cannot form square either. And Hussars are going to charge in here. Some of the guys... yeah, they're going to slice up here most likely. And it looks like, ooh, the coalition need to push back here. This is a big problem. Look at the masses of reserves that France has pushing up as well. I'm surprised they aren't trying to be a little more aggressive here on this flank. This is like the one place, you know, where things could go well. Still nothing on this far left flank. The rest of the reserves are able to push up as the timer has definitely expired. Over here we have... Unfortunately, these Trilliers are getting shot by their own line infantry. But France is looking very strong here. Wow, they are really throwing back the coalition. The coalition having to really fall back. They have made it a decisive attack here. France has realized it. Thankfully, they only lost one troop. They're setting up artillery now. So, oh, the UK are making a huge gamble here, setting up in front of artillery, or pushing across with artillery. But France reforming here, and actually this coalition artillery right over here, this 9th Pounder is tearing up these light infantry. They just got to press up and start the attack. The only problem is they have units that have to peel off to deal with this French attack. And the French are looking very strong at this point in time. Over on this side, it looks like just a standoff on this flank. France actually is starting to get eaten up a little bit, probably by that artillery that is firing. France just have artillery of their own.
We've taken a building, sir.
Oh, there's a building that has been taken. Okay. So they're throwing in troops into the town just in case they have to fall back to it. Oh, what a beautiful charge by the Hussars. I don't know if these coalition or this UK infantry had formed square on time, but they are broken. So even this attack is not going too well. I think this may be an unwise attack. The main force is happening here. These 3 infantry could be marching down this road to reinforce your center that is starting to cave. And then, of course, they're probably not going to attack you. If you fall back, you have an attack along here. Or maybe France is going to attack. Who knows? Oh, France went for that bayonet charge here. For a second here, forcing the UK to fall back. They are fighting on this weird angle here. This artillery is actually in a bad position now. It's just hitting the hill. I would honestly limber it up and push it like maybe over to this side to force back and to help out on this side. It may take a while, but it may be worth it to reposition the guns. Because France is winning this line fight. This slugfest is definitely looking good for them right now. They're out shooting the Spanish. I mean, you look at it, there's like 4 units at least to 1. Who's running? Oh, and also, so we finally are seeing a French attack on this side. Ooh, beautiful volleys here, though. But the French are pushing up here, and they're going to return fire. Can't even see anything anymore. Come on, guys, fire.
Our men are running.
Fire. The Portuguese are going to hold this left flank. More troops pushing up. I feel like this is a lot of reserves that maybe could have been running down this road. I mean, I don't know how many the French get on that side. But, oh, hold that thought. There was a huge cav charge. I apologize, guys. A huge cav fight. Some dragoons and those heavies of Spain clashing. And honestly, the Spanish seem to come out way on top here. And I'm not surprised, actually. I'm really surprised, but the Spanish come out on top, so there's some less French cav. Spain does have reserves. They are holding in reserve. It wasn't the word, you know. Just a hint. In the sentence reserve. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, this is such a risk here, but if it pays off, if this flank can pay off, then it will be a huge benefit for them. Well, they're trying to form up here. And this center looks pretty bad. The French definitely are on the attack on that side. This attack seems to be going okay, but there's so much artillery set up to strategically drive them back. I am concerned the coalition is going to lose this because they ran right into the guns. They just needed to hold this river and then push reserves to stop the French on this side. Well, they've already gotten across the river, and they are breaking. This is bad. This is very bad. The French have not taken very many losses, and they seem to be pushing up quite well. Over here, the French may get outflanked as these Portuguese are going to push across. Looks like they're trying to hem the French in over here. If they can make it win, then this actually really could help even the odds significantly. Skirmishers in the forest as well. Are the French going for melee? They are. They're going in for the bayonet, giving them the cold steel, pushing at war reserves. This is the problem. The coalition are in trouble here. They're not going to have good melee. They need to throw in some light dragoons to save their flank and start pulling their lines back immediately. Over on this side, looks like France is charging in hussars once more, breaking the coalition, and the coalition is not forming square. They're still trying to form up their troops here. Oh, the coalition could lose this whole left flank. They do have the dragoon horse guards on this side, so this could start saving them, but they've broken 3, maybe 4 now, a mass route potentially in their future, as the center is just looking weak. On this side, you can see the French have done an excellent job of breaking some of the Portuguese line. This cav, though, going in, may be able to save. Yep, they may actually break the French line infantry here, as they have been able to push back their line, reform. That could be a huge save. This cav probably will break, but man, I think they may save this line. At least so the Portuguese form up once more. There's a lot of units way over on this side. And I don't know why these guys are going in. Maybe they see that they are not in a square-like formation, but man, they're gonna volley your cav. They're gonna shoot your cav into the next life. Oh, this is such a terrible, in my opinion, cav charge. We'll see if it works. I'll come back and check in a minute. We still want to catch this whole action, which France is just doing an excellent job in forcing the coalition to fall back. This whole expedition was a failure across this river for the coalition. The UK just lost. They took heavy losses, and now they're falling back across France. They really pushed them, and they push these infantry right now. They just sit there volleying these guys as they're walking across the river. All right, let's check back over here where the French have lost their cavalry here. They sent some more chasseurs cheval. Did not work. There's a flanking light Portuguese dragoon unit to try to save them there. Oh my gosh, more line infantry in melee. France is trying to end this conflict by giving them the cold steel, and they seem to be doing a good job. I'm surprised they're falling back. They just keep pressuring here. Look at this flank they have. These line infantry are exhausted, but they will keep hitting this line. They can cave in the Portuguese infantry. The UK have fallen back across the river, with only losing 3 line infantry. Hopefully these guys come back. Maybe they will. But they're going to fall back across. Maybe the Royal Fusiliers are going to have to, you know, hold back the enemy so the rest of their allies can fall back. Yeah, over here, the French just consistently making a slow, gradual push. French aren't even really touching this flank. And that may be a mistake. Not pressuring the side and putting pressure to try to outflank the coalition. All right, guys, we are back. They crashed. And yeah, let's catch back up to where we were here, which was the huge push that France is making. It has been even bayonet charge here with some line infantry. They are broken, of course. There's cavalry ready to throw back the encourager. We do see some cav, some lancers. Look at these guys. They are poised to go in and try to break the coalition's center. And here they go. Now, of course, there is maybe some cav to charge in as well. Yeah, we got an answering cav charge. We'll see if they can make it. All right, so they're hitting that flank. Of course, the coalition light dragoons are going to throw themselves in as well and try to break the lancers. France is going to use the opportunity to push forward some more infantry of their own. Pull back that cavalry, maybe force some hussars to get volleyed by the line infantry. Although, man, Spain is starting to really throw up a good defense here, and they are going to follow on the curtails of the lancers and now hit the French line here. So this may actually be a huge blow to the French and help them to be able to reform their lines here. as the French will have to deal with this cav fight. It may actually break a unit or two. These poor French, these Welsh Fusiliers are holding the line, trying to save the troops that have gotten across the river.
The men are fatigued, sir.
They're probably not going to make it across, to be honest. Over on this side, France has gotten thrown back. Unfortunately, they have broken through the line. They have some troops in the back. They are holding in the forest, but they are starting to break just because of the vast, superior length of lines I think the coalition have. You can see all along they are outnumbering the French. In fact, they have totally encircled this French force. So this is going well, and that's why they're peeling off some troops over to this side, because France is definitely looking much better. In fact, Spain is even falling back on this corner of the map. Maybe France won't notice it. Maybe not. Oh no, France is pushing across over here on this flank. That's probably why. But they are consolidating everything in the center to hold this line, because actually France is starting to run out, I'm assuming, of reserves. And they don't get more until 50, which is coming up momentarily. In about 2 minutes, actually. More artillery pushing over here. The coalition have all of their troops on the field, guys. No more reserves for them. And they're going to do what they got with what they got. France is mobilizing as well, though. Now that the river is not being held, they're going to push across here. And yeah, you can see the push. This is a very large flank that has not really engaged yet, and Spain could really use these forces over on the center, because the morale is looking a little wavery. Unfortunately, the UK had that huge loss going across the river. I think that really is going to put a wrench in their plans. But they're holding for now, and they got some reserves to be able to push up. They have some artillery that is setting up behind the lines. France has a very good placement of artillery. In fact, they could really set some artillery right up here by these lancers and fire across, and it would go really well here. But you can see, man, both sides constantly firing here. You can see the dead littering the battlefield. We have some more light infantry now pushing up here, and you can see the advance by the French, followed by the retreat by the Spanish. Let's hop over to the other side and see how fares this French army that is getting surrounded. Yeah, they're definitely about to die. There's just so many. They're so outnumbered. This is a desperate last stand here. Artillery trying to hold. There's skirmishers here, but man, they are just, there's no forces left. I think this cav charge is where things went downhill. They needed their cav to be able to pressure and force back, you know, the coalition. Oh, here the question is basically going to be, can the coalition inflict enough losses so that when the reinforcements arrive, they're able to destroy France? Or is the French going to destroy enough of them to where, you know, they can take on some reinforcements? That'll be the question of the day. And the French are ever advancing. Artillery still firing. And the volleys still pouring both directions. Let's see what's happening on this flank. So France is finally engaging here. Spain, not having a lot of forces, is consolidating all in the center here, which means there is going to be a problematic French flank they're going to have to deal with. At some point, they're going to have to turn and face these light infantry. Sorry there. Oh, look at this guy. Ooh. You're dead and dragged by your horse. That sucks. Remember when your day's getting hard, you could have been dragged by your horse across the battlefield, eating a face full of mud. Hold that thought, though. We have the Grenadiers pushing the French position here. Grenadiers went in here, and France may be trying to pressure it. They need some cav over here. That's what they need. More on this side, they may be trying to push across the river. Not totally sure there. The problem is these Grenadiers are going to get volley fired on the flank. If the UK are smart, they will just turn this unit, aim this direction, and both sides will take, I mean, they'll get shot up. And that assault has been repelled, which is going to ease up now the Cavs going in, but that's a little too late, in my opinion. And there are three. Ooh, what?
Now they must break.
Oh, okay. This is that desperate last stand. Brave line infantry making the ultimate sacrifice. France is pushing across the river, though, but these, look at these, the first of the reserves pushing over here. Oh my goodness, hold on. Spain is just getting cav charged and just sliced up. And their cav, unfortunately, wasn't near enough to be able to help out. And France has a lot of reserves here, so they are not out of this fight yet. They are going to be able to start pressuring this flank. The center's looking pretty wavery. The cav has pushed up here. Gotta watch out, make sure you don't shoot them while they're in meleeing you. But the reserves should be able to help hold this center. I mean, France is pretty depleted as well, so both sides, you know, may need to take a rest in the center and let this flank kind of start picking away at each other. Both sides will have to, you know, rest up. Unfortunately, Spanish cav got volleyed by line infantry, which is going to make it a little rougher for them to defend their flank against the French cav. Over here, though, man, actually, France seems to be getting the stuffing beat out of them a little bit. Spain has way more forces ready to take the fight to them. They need to put, France needs to be pushing up this flank here and trying to get like some flanking fire here, even pushing the reserves in this one area. This is a weak point here. Put one unit right here and then push up the rest along the river. Definitely could work well. That's going to be a weak point. Fighting happening by the river here. Just a lot of skirmishers against light infantry. Both sides are just kind of taking it a little slower on this assault. We have some more of the Grenadiers who came back and are now probably just resting up here. And you see in the center, guys, this is not really being engaged anymore. Both sides kind of resting their troops, maybe. France is basically beaten. They have some forces left. Some of them were wavering. With the general gone, it's going to be very rough for them to actually stay in the fight. So the rest of the Portuguese are now rolling over to this side. The reinforcements could be much needed, although the coalition seem to be doing a good job thus far of holding here. France is not able to get all their forces in the fight immediately. Surprised they didn't march someone down this road to go for this flank. Force them to have to slant their line. Because right now, I mean,
our men are running.
Cavalry even for France could charge down here and hit this flank. These guys can't form square. In France, in my opinion, they should be using these forces. This is 3 line infantry that can be pushing a flank or pushing here. They could be having them in reserve in case these guys are shaken and break, so they can keep that fight. Because this is the flank they probably want to push on. Oh wow, the UK are losing more troops here. Not sure if it's the artillery placement for France, but they are breaking the UK by the town. They have a lot of really strong line infantry on this side. They have some more line infantry. Probably was given an attack order, just keeps following these line infantry. Either way, this is still a very weak point for the coalition. And at the same time, the French are looking a little weaker over on this attack for some reason, even though they have probably a lot more fresh troops and a lot more troops, although this is looking a lot stronger for them. Oh, France is going to try to go for melee, I guarantee it. They have troops pushing across, which is why Spain and UK are pushing troops of their own to meet them, maybe stop them before they get across the river. Oh, come on. At this point, just stop and volley. These guys would break. They're shaking. Well, right now, these guys, see how long it's taken them?
Our men are running.
Oh, they broke. Oh, thank goodness. All right, so these 4 or 5 line infantry are going to be what's going to hold this flank that France is starting to pressure. France trying to get across that river. And looks like the UK are going to fall back into the town. They do not want to have the artillery keep smacking their lines around, so they did fall back. That's not a bad call here. They don't want to lose yet. They can force the French to have a disorganized formation. Oh,
now
what?
They must break.
Artillery got the general. That wasn't Soult. That could actually really help even the odds a little bit. Oh, France. This is death. They're going to break. These are fresh UK lines. I mean, they will hurt the UK a little bit, but the UK, if they just stood there, why are they moving? Oh no, what are you doing? UK, no. Oh no, they are fumbling up the line here. I'm not even sure what's going on here, but we got some weird formations going into melee. I don't think they even planned that. But now it's a mad melee fest. More infantry gonna get just flanking. I mean, oh man, this is some sloppy lines here. But it is working out for them, and now they're gonna charge in here against the French line infantry. They have the reserves. Let's see, is France going in for a cav charge? Yes, they are. And there's nothing to form a square. Artillery well placed though. The artillery may still die. Or maybe not. That volley by the Spanish actually may have broken. Okay, so France is pushing forward a lot of troops here. They have a lot of grenadiers, melee capable line infantry. They're falling back. Maybe they'll use this LOC to kind of hold their lines. Over on this side, France is actually getting repelled. France could have a way better formation here with the lines and get way more of the troops involved, in my opinion. Pushing across here, getting a line here, just starting to fire. The Portuguese are almost there, guys. And once the Portuguese show up, I think it'll be over for the French unless they have made some real solid attacks. Like here, this is just friendly firing here. France went in, looks like with line infantry though, going for a bayonet charge. Running over lines as well, a lot of unit crossing in your own troops. Never a good thing to see. Oh, we have cavalry. Lancer that charged a square. I pull them out so they don't die to a square. And then throw in the French infantry. This is going to be the last assault for France. This is it. Yeah, the French, unfortunately, are just getting thrown back quite decisively by those reserves. So I think the coalition will actually manage to hold this side. But here we go, more light infantry going in. We got some grenadiers. Artillery is trying to also, you know, throw back and maybe try to shatter some of the UK hold the town. Cavalry went in, and maybe these grenadiers can throw himself in, they could actually start breaking the coalition. This battle's starting to get a little bit more disorganized chaos in some ways, not knowing where the lines are exactly. Yeah, the French seem to be a little... The lines are a little sloppy right now. They need to reform these lines. Like these two troops, one of them's firing through the other. You're just killing your own men. And forming up in lines, hold space a lot. Do this, see? So you can see where your troops are. Make sure that's not you that's firing firing your own troops. The French have made quite the push here. These grenadiers are carving a path through the town. Portuguese are very close though. So close. They can form up. They're not going to be good in melee, but they can form up. They may actually be able to break the French in the town. But oh no, France is getting these guys who are facing away. The General Beresford is going to die. Oh no, they're going to kill the UK General without even planning to. Wow, General managed to get out of there. France still pushing forward. They're going to start routing a lot of UK troops. They're pushing through the town as well. Over this flank, France looks basically almost gone. They have troops facing away just because of this. Uh-oh. The brave charge. The light dragoons. They're getting shot as they're pushing up, though. Oh, they managed to actually, that was a good charge. That was actually a very good charge. France has been repelled, so now the only point where France is attacking is by the town, and that's where the most vicious point in the fighting seems to be happening. Oh no. He did end up dying. How very unfortunate. How very unfortunate. The UK actually are going to lose this town. They're sending forward all the reserves. Where's the rest of the Portuguese? They need to throw these Portuguese units in, have them start firing some volleys. They're just kind of standing here. Just throw them in. France is actually constantly pushing their line infantry up. See this could be a bayonet charge in the backs of these troops by the French, and they would win. I think it's just like it's a 2v2 or it's a 2v3 or something like that. But I think that the multitasking is definitely becoming a little sloppy here. Both sides struggling to control the amount of troops with everything that's happening here. Grenadiers are exhausted, but they're charging in once more. And you can see the morale of the coalition is, especially with that general dying, the UK are just gonna tank, which actually may be wise for the Portuguese to wait, just because that morale debuff is gonna be quite nasty. The Spanish general needs to get himself out of there so he doesn't trigger a morale break. Are the French attacking here? This is about it, guys. I think the fight's almost won here. The French need to just get the rest of their forces here. I mean, they don't have enough, though. The Portuguese definitely have the upper hand here. They have more troops on the battlefield right now. Even with their artillery, they're not going to drive back. Even with the UK basically almost all mass routing, they don't have enough, I think, to be able to take this town, to take the points, or even win this fight. Still hard fought, way more hard fought than the last NAI replay I think I did. But well played, well played. Near the end, it got a little sloppy. I think the French could have been a little more aggressive. They were pretty aggressive. In fact, the UK were really aggressive in their very beginning, and the French pushed them back and then attacked up this hill. Keeping in mind, of course, that, you know, it's slower paced, and he's much slower paced, so things moving at this pace. Maybe he's actually quite fast for any. Who knows? I mean, you still have 33 minutes remaining. French are fighting for this. Oh, there we go. All right, they broke. All right, guys. Yeah, I think this battle is basically over. I mean, I may just skip to the end here because it's just scattered resistance. That way, you know, we don't sit here watching like 1 or 2 units fire at a time. And these guys are just running around. So maybe whoever it was had dropped near the end or something like that. Either way, I think I may just... Oh, is there a general here? Oh, Salt, no. You can't die. You can't... Salt can't die. It's an insult. Where is he, anyway? Which one is Salt? There he is. Wow, not doing bad at all. I'll say that and he'll die.
We have killed their generals.
Well, there goes Salt, guys, the leader of this whole expedition. And with that, I would say the death of the battle, as now some scattered French resistance, and honestly at this point the French would probably just fall back. So like I said, I'll skip to the end, guys, unless something big happens. I kind of doubt something big will happen. France doesn't have very much of an army left. So we'll skip to the end and look at the results of this battle. Alright, guys, so as you see the battle here, we have the French, man, they got like what, 1240, 692, or I should say Beresford and Stewart, 692, and then 2397. Unfortunately, Sir William died in this fight, so we didn't get to see the victory. But then again, so did Soult. He was slain. His army got 1113, and then of course you have cavalry 1272, and then looks like Jean Baptiste got 767. He's probably the one on the right flank against the Portuguese. Didn't really make a decisive win there. So, yeah, I think it was just that flank. That flank with the reinforcements pushing over may have been what saved the UK. Who knows what would have happened if they hadn't arrived. The French right flank pushing across that river just kind of got stopped, unfortunately. And then the town, they just eventually just couldn't make the decisive push. So that's about it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another NE. I hope you guys are enjoying these. I think they've been a lot of fun. So until the next time, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.